Good afternoon and welcome to another WHITT session. What's a WHITT session? I'm so glad you asked. A WHITT session is a pop-up interview in a pop-up location with a surprise guest. But I couldn't keep this a surprise. Surprise! It is Pastor Nicole. She is back. Pastor Nicole P. Guns here at First Baptist Church making history. And we are on the cusp of installation weekend. Yes. Hey, Pastor.
Hey.
So when I pulled into the parking lot of the church, there was a flurry of activity. So things are getting ready for this weekend. Let me just start by saying, how you feeling? It's game time.
I am excited and I am overwhelmed and I'm just feeling all of the emotions right now. But it's game time. It's go time.
Yes.
We got a lot of people here, because we are trying to make sure we are ready for all of the guests that are coming in.
Yes. So I'm going to clue those folks. There are a few folks under a rock. So I'm going to pull them from under the rock and let them know that on this weekend, Pastor Nicole Guns will be officially installed as the first female pastor of First Baptist Church in the 117-year history.
117 years, that's right.
I am sitting here with a history maker, ladies and gentlemen. Has that really sank in for you yet?
I think so. It's overwhelming. You know, this week, it's really just kind of been on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've been on this journey to this point since July, you know, really since May. And so it seems so far away.
And now it's
and
here.
now we're here.
Yes.
You know, and so I've just been reflecting on my own personal journey, on what I've learned about First Baptist, on what I've learned about the city of Gary, and it's overwhelming. I'm feeling all the feels, all of the emotions, but I'm just really humbled that First Baptist, with the leading of the Holy Spirit, selected me, because you know, they could have selected anybody.
Yes.
And one of the beautiful things that happened on the day that I was voted in, the oldest member of the church, Mother Robinson, 106 years old, came to vote for me.
Come on through, Mother Robinson. But that's like the ultimate compliment. To say, I, the ultimate elder of the church, I affirm, I agree. And that's the other thing that, you know, I'm sure people have asked you, and they've been asking, just period, knowing that we have these seasoned churches in the community, it's like, wow, how did First Baptist make this full 360 of we know? I go to a seasoned church in the community as well. And so it's more than a notion to say, after 117 years, here's Nicole. I mean,
Nicole does not fit into
what we've been practicing and studying all these years. Right?
Not at all. But I think that First Baptist, first of all, what I love about First Baptist is a church of generations of family members.
Yes, indeed.
You know, several of the members can trace back their grandparents, their great-grandparents were here. And so because of that, I think that for the members, it was important to know that their children and their grandchildren will continue that legacy.
Yes.
And so I will say over and over again that First Baptist was really brave to say, you know what, we're going to do something different, because we're that committed to the future of the church, that we're going to put somebody in place that we think can carry the church forward. Because a lot of times what happens is you have these older congregations and they're only thinking about what they want right now.
Yes.
And not thinking about the future of the church. And so that creates just all kinds of, we can have a whole conversation on that.
Sure.
But First Baptist was really thinking about the future of the church, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
I do too, and I witnessed it firsthand. Last weekend, you all had a community giveaway. The trucks rolled up with all kinds of school supplies and food, and I mean, there was a line wrapped around the building. I was like, excuse me, has anybody seen Pastor Gus? And there you were in the trenches, helping, passing out, ministering to people. I saw you talking to young people like, hey, I'll see you on Sunday, right? So talk about what the dynamic has been, because this weekend is installation weekend, but you've been here. right?
I've been here.
You've been here since May.
Mm-hmm. I've been here consistently since the first Sunday in August.
Okay.
So in May, I was kind of going back and forth, flying in every few weeks. So consistently since the first Sunday in August. And let me tell you, First Baptist is alive. We over here, we popping, you know. We are popping. One of the things that I was saying from the very beginning is that we want to be intergenerational.
Okay.
You know, that's a very important word, that we have all of the generations engaged in the work of ministry.
Yes.
And so, you know, we were baby boomer, silent generation, again, like so many churches. But then you're missing Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and now Gen Beta.
Oh my goodness.
So when you think about all of these generations that are walking around Gary, that are walking around Means Manor, we should have that inside of the church.
Y'all hear her say Means Manor. She started dropping neighborhoods, y'all.
Okay.
Look at you. Welcome to Gary. Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you from my perspective, just keeping my ear to the ground, that people are very excited. I get random texts like, saw your interview with Pastor Nicole.
Wow.
I'm so excited. I'm a member and we are doing it. And we've talked before, and we've done another interview prior to this when the giveaway was going on. But just in private, you talked about how you wanted to get this galvanization of bringing our young people into the church and getting them active and making meaningful roles, not telling them this is what you're going to do, but come in and find your place and space at First Baptist. How's that been going? What does that look like?
It is going so well. The church has really embraced this idea of being intergenerational.
Okay.
And I think that we all feel that and we see that. You know, one of the things that I've said is children should not have to wait until Children's Day to be involved. Youth should not have to wait until Youth Day to be involved. They're members of the congregation 365 days a year. So why do we limit them to a certain day or a certain setting? They should be engaged all the time. Yeah. And so like we have a young minister in training. I've made him a minister in training. He told me, Pastor Guns, I'm going to be a preacher. I think he's like 10 years old.
Really?
Yeah. And so guess what? So I told him, he sits on the pulpit with us, you know, because that's boots on the ground for real training. I like that. He sits on the pulpit with us, you know. I have a real passion for being intergenerational and making sure that everybody feels included. So that's not excluding any age group. So that's also remembering the centenarians, you know, those who are 90 years old. That's not forgetting them. That's not leaving them out, but it's engaging everybody. So we're working on that. We still got some work to do, but if you come in First Baptist on a Sunday, you will see every age group engaged in the work of ministry, and that's very important to me. It is. Yeah. Now, you talk about intergenerational, but you have your firsthand experience with that. Viewing audience, did you know that Nicole Patrice Guns comes from 6 generations of ministers, preachers, pastors, the word? Talk a little bit about your lineage. So yeah, I'm 6th generation preacher, 3rd generation pastor. Ooh. So this is very exciting for my family. I'll be the first woman pastor in my lineage. I have some cousins and a great aunt that were pastors, but I'll be the first one in my lineage who is a pastor. So they're all coming for the installation. So that's just a really significant thing in our family. We have the license of my great grandfather who was licensed in 1908 as an AME minister. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And so you know your history too, which I absolutely love, which says to me you totally identify with all of the rich history that is Gary, Indiana. Speaking of, from Virginia to Indiana to right here in Gary, making the adjustment, what is that like? It is so fun and so stressful at the same time. It's like, this is not Virginia. It is. I am enjoying learning a whole new area, a whole new culture, because it is a different culture. It is. You know, there are some similarities. Gary in some ways reminds me of a city back home, Portsmouth, which is a majority minority city. The city council, the government is just very strong. There's a lot of pride in the city for those that grew up in that city. And so Gary reminds me a lot of Portsmouth. And so there are little similarities. The only way I would come to Indiana if I was in a black city. And so the Lord knew.
He already knew.
The Lord knew.
Make it chocolate, guys.
Yeah, it's got to be in chocolate city of Indiana, you know.
Well, you are there.
And so I absolutely love that. I do. Not taking away from anybody else's culture, but I love who we are. I love us. I love learning the history. So to come to a historic Baptist church is right up my alley. My home church was founded in 1879 in Virginia. So you think about what was happening in Virginia in the 1870s, right?
Yes.
And so some of my home church's history is missing just because of the time that the church was founded. And so it was easy for me to identify with the church here in the Midwest that has such a rich history as well. And so I understand the importance of it. Sometimes we like to just kind of throw it away and negate it, but there's a story. And when you look at the story of a First Baptist Church, then you look at what was happening in Black America
at that time.
Yes. And so churches like First Baptist are Black history. So that's not lost on me. I look forward to getting to learn more of the Black history of First Baptist, of Gary, of Indiana, Northwest Indiana, and for a city like Gary to continue to have the identity that we have in Indiana, it's so powerful to me. It is. And the resilience of the people, the love for the community, it speaks volumes. And so
I promise excited. I didn't write her a script. I know you sound like me. I love Gary so much, but you are 100% on target when we talk about our rejuvenation and the things that are happening in the city. Your narrative flows right with what we're doing as far as that shot in the arm of energy from the economic development side, from the faith community side, and so for such a time as this. But I have to go back real quick. How many of you all know that she wasn't really trying to come together at first? Talk about the no's versus the yeses and what God says and how funny he is.
God is very funny, okay? God is hilarious. Indiana, Gary, First Baptist, we're not on they weren't on my bingo card. I'll say that. Even as late as January 1st, you making your plans for the new year. Moving to Indiana was not
on that list.
Anything that I thought of. But God knows exactly where we need to be. So I left my home church. I've been there all of my life pretty much. And so to leave home was a real act of faith for me, to really trust God in a new place. I don't have any family. I have a few friends in Chicago, but that's all I knew coming here. And so when I finished seminary, I applied to probably 30 churches, because in the Baptist tradition, when a church is looking for a pastor, you have to put yourself out there.
Right.
And so I put myself out there, probably to about 30 churches, and I had 30 no's.
Wow.
And that can be very discouraging.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not sorry. She's in Gary.
Sorry, right. That can be very discouraging, but what I learned is that God sometimes will close doors so that you can go to the right door. And so I had to just kind of trust God through that process, and really be vulnerable to step out there again, and so while Baptist churches are slow with calling women, I want to encourage women that may be listening. You got to put yourself out there, because the 30 no's, it was meant for me to get this one yes.
Yes, that's all you need.
That's all you need is the one. That's all you need is the one.
And First Baptist is the one. If you're just tuning in, where have you been? We're having a CWIT session with the Nicole Guns, pastor of First Baptist Church. So you talked about friends and not having many here, just knowing a few.
Yes.
I'm going to transition into your your college background as a Hamptonian.
I am.
And a member of Delta Sigma Theta.
I am.
So you are doing some connecting with those organizations, groups here in Gary. The Connects are here as well.
Oh, yeah. First of all, you know, Deltas are everywhere.
Uh-huh.
And so, and the love.
With your red dress on today.
I mean.
I see you.
You see me? So, you know, so the love from the sorors has just been amazing. You know, from the moment, for example, when I was voted into the church, the sorors in the church had on red.
All right.
On the day that they voted, because that's just how Deltas roll.
Okay.
You know, and from the beginning, the sorors in the church were very supportive and loving and easily connected me to the sorors and Gary Alumni Chapter.
Okay.
And so, so I've had a lot of connections there that have just really helped to navigate the move here. And then, so my speaker for the installation banquet, which will be on Friday night, is our new national chaplain of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Wow.
Yeah, Reverend Janae Pitts Murdoch. And so that's a part of Indiana history as well, is that she pastors in Indianapolis. And so the state of Indiana has the leading religious leader of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated in the state of Indiana, and she will be here, you know.
So you, I'm sure, have a whole slew of like random ticket sales for the banquet.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's like, yeah, we hear about Nicole, but we heard
that, yeah,
there's a national office.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal.
That is awesome.
We had to add 3 tables. So.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
we
wow.
did.
So I'm guessing it's sold out.
It's sold out.
Sorry,
yeah.
Not sorry. I plan to pass through. That also happens to be, side note, West Side High School's homecoming. And so I got to go show some love.
That's your school?
That's my alma mater.
Okay.
I work with the school district up several layers. They get it. People know me, orange and blue. So that's I'll stop by the chateau and then I got to head over to Cougar Country. But that's the other thing. You will find that there are a lot of great things going on in the community in which you can participate, network, and people will be, once they see this video, they'll be inviting you to everything, which is a good thing as you start to acclimate. But I'm excited. Let's talk more about the banquet because you have somebody else who's going to be there near and dear to your heart.
Absolutely. So Miss Anita Blanton, who is an anchor on Fox 32 Good Morning Chicago, she is going to be the MC for our banquet. And so Anita and I go back to Hampton University, and she's also a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Wow. So much love to all of the organizations, but Deltas are going to be real deep.
They're going to be deep all in this beautiful sanctuary all weekend. So Friday, we talked about the banquet. Might as well go ahead and give the layout for the rest of the weekend. What are we doing Saturday?
Saturday morning at 10 a.m. is the actual installation. So it will be official. So an installation is like the marriage between people and pastor. So that will take place on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock here at First Baptist. And my father, Dr. Jeffrey Guns, is going to be doing the installation ceremony.
How are you going to hold it together?
I'm probably not.
Oh, because I'm just thinking about it. We're daddy's girls. We already talked about that on camera. And this is such a... How's he going to hold it together? Maybe I need to ask him.
You might need to ask him. So I don't know. I don't know if it's... I'm sure that it has, that it has sunk in for him, but I think in that moment, just the reality of it, because how many fathers get to install their daughters?
Yes.
So that's just going to be a special, special occasion.
10 a.m. and the entire community is invited, right?
Everybody is invited, but I'm going to tell you, you got to get here early because...
I'll be here, camera set up, 9:30. I'll be ready to go.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Because there are at least 100 people coming from my home church.
Fun
in Virginia.
Times. Come on, Virginia.
They're flying, they're driving in, they are coming.
Okay.
They're coming. And
that should make you feel pretty good.
It makes me feel just so loved. And like, I'm not going to get emotional, but just to know that people would do that, to be a part of that is just one of those feelings that I'm feeling this week. Yes. Just the overwhelming support and love is just amazing. God will show you love in so many different ways.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, it is unfolding indeed for this weekend. I'm not going to hold you much longer, but it's such a great story that you are weaving into Gary's history. I'm so excited for you. So, and then there's Sunday.
And then Sunday, let me tell you something. So Sunday is the final day of the celebration, and my uncle, Bishop John Guns, will be the preacher on Sunday morning, and he is the dean of the School of Theology at Virginia Union University, and also the senior pastor of St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church in Jacksonville, Florida.
Wow.
So when he comes,
just know
that there's probably gonna be a racetrack going around this church.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, it's gonna be lit.
You're not just hyping us up.
I'm not hyping you up. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you what I know.
All right. Well, First Baptist is the place to be.
It's gonna be on fire. It's gonna be on fire.
And the great news too, for those of you who are watching from other places, it'll be broadcast live on the church Facebook page. So that's a shameless plug to follow First Baptist Church of Gary on Facebook, and I'll be broadcasting live on Saturday for the installation service. I'm so excited. So tomorrow morning we're headed to Chicago. Why are we going to Chicago, Pastor?
Again, just one of these mind-blowing moments. January 1st, I had no idea I would be on the news in Chicago in October. So yeah, I'll be interviewed by Anita Blanton.
We're going 8:40. We got to be in studio by 8.
Yeah.
This wonderful woman of God is going to be featured with her soror and fellow Hamptonian on Morning Talk. That is going to be so exciting.
That's so amazing.
Yes, we're going to have a good time. So we want to make sure that you all get that program note to mark your calendars for tomorrow morning, 8:40 a.m. Tune in to Fox WFLD with Anita and Pastor Nicole. You all will get a chance to chop it up. When was the last time you've laid eyes on her?
When she left Virginia to come to Chicago.
Really?
Yes.
So it's going to be a reunion of sorts.
It's going to be a reunion. It really is, because we've got Anita and I were in the same chapter, Virginia Beach Alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. So there are some sorors, including our chapter president, Geraldine Edie, is coming. So she's going to know quite a few people in the room as well.
Nice.
So it's going to be a celebration.
But here's my fear/happy moment, that after they watch on Fox tomorrow, you'll have a whole new influx of interest. So I'm looking at the overflow over here. I'm looking at the balcony.
Come on,
speak it. I'm seeing the standing room only. Ma'am, up against the wall, please. I see it.
You see,
Ushers, get ready.
Oh, and so also, for the weekend, I have some very talented, amazing, anointed musicians and singers coming too, who are just friends who want to be here.
Of course.
So I'm telling you, it's gonna be a racetrack around here.
She's not hyping us up.
I'm not hyping you up. I ain't flexing.
But if you were, I'll be like, flex on. We've been chatting with the newly elected Pastor Nicole Patrice Guns. This is going to be official this Saturday when she is officially installed by Howard School of Divinity graduate Pastor Guns. I'm so excited. The other HU. I love that we can banter about that, because we know how important HBCUs are to our history. So you're bringing all these layers. The last thing, and we're going to get out of here, your overall vision for the church. I know you have some things that you want to do. What does Pastor Nicole want to see for First Baptist?
Oh my goodness.
I know the intergenerational, but
intergenerational piece, and just really making sure that we are positioned to be an important part of the community for years to come. You know, that we are First Baptist in 50 years, 100 years, that when people look at the city of Gary, they look at Means Manor, that we're still here, we're still strong. So, you know, there's some infrastructure things that we need to do, you know, technology, those kind of things like that. But we are going to continue to be actively engaged in the community, really making our presence known in Means Manor. Want to look at some collaborative things with some different organizations to see how we can really serve the community 7 days a week. You know, I'm talking about how we can help the children of the community. So it's very important to me that, you know, everybody may not come inside the church doors, and I understand that, but that does not absolve us from the responsibility of the community. Indeed. And so, you know, we want to make sure that we are positioned to provide what's needed, especially in this day and time.
Yes.
You know?
We church different. I will just say that church is different, and I don't just blame it on COVID is just overall a different generation. The way we reach the masses is different.
It's different.
And so we have to employ different things to ensure that God's people get the word. I love that.
So looking at some different ways to engage youth and children and young adults, you know, the days of everybody being on an usher board and the choir, it's not, you know, it's not quite the same. Although we want kids and youth to usher and sing, you know, we may have to look at some other ways to do ministry. And so we're looking at that.
Okay, well, I am excited about it. And speaking of collaborations, this wonderful pastor will also be one of our guest speakers over at Trinity. I'm excited about you coming to speak at my church, Trinity Baptist. And so the other thing that you will find is that our churches do work together, sister churches, partnerships, revivals. And so this certainly won't be our last time interfacing with First Baptist and all the amazing churches across the city.
You know, I will say that I'm learning that about this area, and maybe that's a Midwest thing, maybe that's a cultural thing, but the churches really do collaborate.
We have to
they
survive.
really do. And I love that about here. I do.
Well, you all consider yourselves officially introduced to Nicole P. Guns, but like I said, it will not be the last. I want to thank you for taking time out this busy time, because they're back there working right now, getting ready for all the guests that are coming. And I have to say, selfishly, we're glad to have them from an economic standpoint. Bring those 100 people, let them shop and sightsee right here in beautiful Gary, Indiana, and spend their dollars here. I'm excited.
Yes, thank you.
Any final parting words before the weekend?
Woo! Thank you for coming. Thank you for this interview. Thank you for all, you know, all the connections that you have made for me. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be a part of Gary. I am going to be all up in Gary. Yes. You know, so I'm going to be joining the different organizations. And First Baptist, we are First Baptist Church, you know, and so that means we have a responsibility to the community. We're the oldest Black church in the city of Gary, and so we take that seriously, and I'm just glad to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you. Count on me to help you in any way as you navigate this amazing community that we know and love. You've been watching the CWIT Session, a pop-up interview at a pop-up location with a surprise guest who has been none other than Nicole Guns, pastor of First Baptist Church. We invite you to all of the, not the banquet, we invite you to all the rest of the installation services this weekend. God bless you. Everybody share this video, and we'll see you next time. Watch Fox tomorrow, 8:40.
Bye.
Bye.